what an invocation and reading. That's the way to set the consciousness. So I'm going to start how I didn't plan to start. I want to tell you a little story. A couple people already came up to me about public speaking, and they're like, aren't you nervous? Aren't you this? Well, let me tell you a story. We used to do awards where I worked in big banquet halls, and I had to do a speech and give an award. Well, I'm sitting at my table of 10, and of course my supervisors there, co-workers are there, and what do? They decide to taunt me and say some of the worst things that could possibly happen with public speaking. They know that I have a sense of humor, so I think they were helping. But what I did was I decided that I had to make peace with it. And I had to make peace with public speaking. So for anybody that's nervous about public speaking, there will be times in your life when you're going to want to share. So I hope you make peace with it. Because once you make peace, there's tremendous joy available. There's tremendous self-acceptance available for each one of us. Now, it's easy to do it here because it's such a loving environment. But there is times when your words help, your words heal, your words help you connect with other people. So I invite you, don't make it such a big thing. It's really not. There is an absolute divine within each one of us. That divine intelligence that sparks. Let that lead you whenever you have to talk. All right? So let's get on with this. So the title today is Joy. Where is the joy? So I looked it up in Ernest Holmes, and he wrote, the emotion excited by the expectancy of good, gladness, delight, and exultation, which is a feeling of triumph, elation, and jubilation, rejoicing. Okay, so if all is done in divine right order, and divine right order is always in motion, so the good of God is always taking place. So where is the joy in that if the good of God is always taking place? Where is the joy within you if the good of God is always taking place? Are you permitting yourself to have that joy? To have joy means you need to find anything that is challenging in your life and make peace with it. Any conflict, make peace with it. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. You're going to sometimes have to feel it, heal it, and move on. But it's well worth it. Because joy is the natural expression of the divine from within us. That enthusiasm, that zeal, that's the divine within us. We're meant to be joyful. There's no just two ways about it. Joyful, joyful. Now, you can express it however you express it. You don't have to be doing that. But I hope you give it to yourself and allow for that joy and that grace of God to come through you. I know the Chinese philosopher wrote, if you are depressed and you're living if you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. If you're at peace, you're living in the present. Be present as much as you can in your life. I always say joyful, joyful to myself. Joyful, joyful. So let that lead and feel it from your heart. Take a moment, put your hands on your heart. Joyful, joyful. Say it. Joyful, joyful. That's the divine energy in, throughout and about you. That's what you want to put forth in the world. If you already know that not one soul will be lost in the divine, which we all know, and that's part of Ernest Holmes, that's part of religious science, that's part of many things. Not one person, one soul will be lost. Then we do know that the divine intention for our life is to have grace, to have peace, to have wholeness, to have bountiful and unlimited blessings. This is said to feel that excitement, by the by. What will bring you peace, greater peace? Is there something that you're dealing with? Is there something from the past that haunts you? I suggest considering just make peace with it. About a month ago or so, I had to go to a funeral, and about 99.9% of the people I absolutely loved and adored, but there were a few that have been challenging. So I made a commitment to myself that I would make peace with whatever came before me. And it really was a celebration of that person's life. And I felt tremendous peace. And I felt tremendous joy at each person that I can be with. And I just allowed what was to be. I honestly know that I never had any control over any of it, so it's nice that I decided to cooperate. It's nice that I decided to let myself just have a good time, have a loving time. I felt what I felt. I loved the person dearly. And I'm happy that they were no longer in any discomfort and pain. And I truly believe that they moved on to a better place and could serve as a beautiful angel for so many and an inspiration. And then I just felt the tremendous love that that person shared in their life. And I thought that's something I would like. I would like to know that I shared love in this life, that I allowed myself to open up and feel the joy, the bountiful blessings of the Almighty within me. And then I thought, kind of make that a priority, huh? Could that be my affirming every day? In every way, my life is getting better and better and better. How's that? So, it's so funny. I looked in the Bible for verses on joy, and like 50 verses came up automatically. John 8:24 said, "Ask and you will receive, that your joy may be full." There are so many verses. I think that's our natural state of being, is joy. Can you imagine that? Not to be troubled by the day, not to be troubled about what's going to happen or what happened, but to be present and just completely at peace and making peace and being a peacemaker. That would be a tremendous universe to participate in. It already is a tremendous universe. We just need to line up with it. It's a universe that loves and adores us and supports us in so many magnificent ways. Feel that in your heart. A universe that loves and supports us in so many magnificent and wonderful ways. That's for me, Lord. That is certainly for me. So even Buddha, that said life is suffering, also said if a man, woman, speaks or acts with a pure heart, joy follows him as his own shadow. I looked for a Buddha quote. I didn't want that hanging over my head. The suffering part, that is. So for me, what brings me joy? I asked myself. For me, being a part of this beautiful spiritual community, I am joyful, especially when I get here. I can look around the room, I see beautiful, loving people. I know it's a place where I can just be comfortable and be myself. I know that I can allow the goodness be present. And I know I'm going to, like-minded people are there. You know how they say misery loves company? Well, so does joyful, loving people love joyful, loving people. So we attract who we are. You're definitely part of it. You're a part of what we attract. We want joyful, loving people here. Doesn't mean you always have to be joyful and loving. You have to come as you are, but know that there's joy and love for you right here. I like taking walks in nature. That brings me joy. Good-hearted people. I like volunteering at certain things. That brings me joy. I like a nice, peaceful morning. That brings me joy. Do you have a list of what brings you joy? If I was to ask you, there was a book I'd read, Knock on the Side of the Head. I read this a long time ago. And it says, instead of trying to think of one way, one answer, think of 10. It's easier, so you don't have to get the right one. So what are 10 things that bring you joy? It's easier because you can just let it flow. Good people, good conversation, good cup of coffee, feeling good about myself, accomplishing something, a beautiful, peaceful morning. That just flows. And we also need to know what does not bring us joy and maybe stay away from that. There's a wonderful quote I saw, and it says, run from people that love drama, or they will put you in one of their episodes. We have all met them. I wouldn't doubt to say that a few of us have family members and friends. Get away from them quickly. Don't be rude. Actually, if they're so joyful, you might just repel them anyway. If they're a great peace, they have a tendency to go the other way. So, in Psalms 118:24 it writes, "This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad." It's about being present. Being present right here and right now in this moment. There's fullness and richness. There's the divine in the presence. There's magic and miracles in the present. Because miracles are natural. And magical, we're all magical. But your true magic is right here in this present moment. Your true magic is when you feel the fullness of the grace of God that you are. And you allow yourself to have that. Your true magic is when you make peace with today and anything. And just feel that peace. Because with that peace comes a greater understanding. It just naturally happens. We have a greater understanding, a greater ease of being, and acceptance. Because we can fully accept a situation and fully accept ourselves. Then we just can feel that joy come up. Just radiating throughout and about. Can you feel joy? Do you feel joy when you say joyful, joyful? Do you feel joy when you're around joyful people? Do you feel joy when you know there are things in this world for you to be joyful about? Do you feel joy when you know what a blessing you are? Go ahead, put it in your heart, stretch a little. Feel it. Do you feel joy when you know what a blessing you are? I can feel your energy, so it's there. I can definitely. Standing up here, other thing about public speaking is the energy is just, and in a situation like this, oh my God, I wish it for each one of you. That you just, what you're putting out just comes back. There's the love, there's the innocence, the purity of each person here. An individual expression of the divine. How gracious is that? I know, I'm completely blessed. Thich Nhat Hanh, which was the Vietnamese monk, wrote, "To be beautiful means to be yourself." How great is that? That's the law of attraction, I think, at its finest. Just to be who you are is to be beautiful. So we're feeling joy of life. I want to say a little bit more about peace. Whenever we're in conflict, we separate ourselves from the divine and that peace. And that's human, that's part of the 3-dimension, it happens. But if you as quickly as possible can bring peace back to a situation. I think they even write books like Don't Sweat the Small Stuff and Things I've Learned and so on and so forth. It's all about making peace and acceptance with life. It doesn't change your viewpoints, it doesn't change your opinion, but it gives you a greater understanding about life. It gives you a greater understanding about each and every moment. John Morton, who's the leader now, Movement of Spiritual Inner Awareness, writes, "Love the mystery, love the invisible, love the silence and the unknown. Be joyful towards each day, each opportunity. Love what it is such as you know it. That's the way to get through a challenging experience or one that you don't like. You might say, right now, even though I don't like what's going on, or if it's not what I thought it would be, or would be, or should be, my place is to find the good, to relax, be patient." And we find ways of making it so difficult. That's because we're creators, by the way. We are just creators. The thing is are we conscious creators? Create consciously. Because at every moment, each moment, we are creating something. We're creating our reality. Through our own thoughts, we're choosing what to create. There's a discipline for life. I create what I want in life. I think about what I want in life. I feel what I want in life. I rejoice feeling, thinking about what I want in life. Meister Eckhart wrote, "If the only prayer you ever say in your entire life is thank you, it would be enough." It's one of my favorite expressions. Because thank you brings us into grace. When we feel that gratitude, we feel that appreciation, that brings us into grace. Like, thank you that I'm alive. Thank you that I get to uplift and up-level in this moment. Thank you I didn't let that speed line bother me one bit. Thank you that I can laugh at certain things. Abraham wrote, "If it doesn't feel good, stop thinking about it." I can come up with like these unbelievable, deep and profound things, but simplicity is such a blessing. You know, I love that book, What I Learned, or Whatever Good I Learned in Kindergarten, whatever the title is. It's such a great book, because there is simplicity in such great things. So, I want to ask you something else. If I haven't encouraged you to feel more joy in your life and peace, I want to know what's so great about disliking somebody. What do you get? You get to feel, ugh. You get to feel bad. You get to feel separated. What's so great about revenge? What's so great about feeling less than? There's no gift in that. It's like, let it go. And anything along that line. Now let me ask you, what's so great about feeling peaceful? You can easily ask these questions to yourself. What's so great about feeling joyful? That uplifts my spirit. It lets me just be so lighthearted and happy. It draws me to wonderful other happy people. What's so great about feeling powerful and responsible is that I get to call the shots. I get to decide what I want to create in my life. I get to feel that beauty that they all talk about. The grace of God we all speak about. I get to feel it and be it. Can you feel it and be it for yourself? Can you feel powerful? Can you feel blessed? Can you feel love? Can you feel you're a creator? All right. So something else. What will assist us is going to places that heal us, that awaken the joy and love from within, and go to places that inspire us. So whatever makes you happy, do that. We have enough responsibility with day-to-day things. It takes up enough of our time. We schedule all the things we have to do. Let's start scheduling some things we want to do. So what part of today are you going to stop and just breathe and love yourself? What part of today are you just going to feel the joy? Say joyful, joyful, and feel the joy. What part of today are you going to just full with joy and go, you know what, I'm loved. Even if it's one person, I'm loved. How about that? What part of today are you just going to feel the gratitude that today is a blessing that we all get to be a part of? Emma Curtis Hopkins, who's considered teacher of teachers, was one of Ernest Holmes' teachers. And she wrote, I do not believe in a mixture of good and evil in the world or in myself. All is good. The world will persist, exhibiting before you what you persist in affirming in the world. The world will persist, exhibiting before you what you persist in affirming in the world. What are you going to affirm in your world? That it's a beautiful, joyful, loving world? That love just happens spontaneously, magnificently, the right people come into my life? There's no limit. And don't let anybody ever limit you. There's no limit in the possibilities. And that's not to scare you, that's to rejoice. Surprise yourself. I know I've surprised myself quite a few times. So once again, what brings you joy? Can you answer it? It's a good question to ask yourself. Eckhart Tolle wrote, "You're not in the universe, you are the universe, an intrinsic part of it. Ultimately, you are not a person, but a focal point where the universe is becoming conscious of itself." What an amazing miracle. Now, if you're feeling small, you can't after that statement. You just can't for 1 second. I just want to say I wish you joy. That's a nice greeting. I wish you joy, I wish you peace. So I'm inspired, just do a quick little prayer. So if you can join me, put your hands in your heart. Just take it all in, knowing that the divine is present in, throughout, and about each person. The very expression, expansion, and celebration of life, of love, of harmony is awakened. The Holy Spirit knows us, embraces us, and goes forth and creates the perfect outcomes in every area of our life. For God is this quantum field of unlimited love, creativity, possibilities, and grace. Multidimensional light, sound, color, vibration. This immaculate embrace, and I and we are one with God. This absolute beauty beyond. This grace, this glory, this magnificence, this truth. We give thanks and praise knowing that each person here awakens. They're joyful, joyful. Awakens that they are a blessing upon this planet. And that the joy within them just permeates in, throughout, and about every cell of their being, every dimension, energy field of their existence, and every grace upon their presence is joyful, is peaceful, is love, is the divine. Knowing that we are the radiant divine grace upon this planet. I give thanks and praise for the very thanksgiving of our existence, for the grace of God upon us and throughout and about us. And in this present moment, I love you. We are love. So I wish you joy, and in gratitude and joy, I release this word into the action of the law. Knowing what is said is done, the universe always says yes. Yes, yes, yes. Be joyful. God bless. So it is.
And so it is.